Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. It is Tuesday, January, February, March, April, May 27th, 2025. It is we'll say cloudy, 61 degrees here in mid-Michigan. I, of course, am your host with the mostest, Hat and Beard. Welcome. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Guys, today we are going to be running through a couple of quick little news articles here, and first and foremost, kind of a big headline here that I think is going a little bit slept on, and that is the Lions news. We're going to be going to prideofdetroit.com here. Lions Tush Push vote puts them in unique company. The Lions are the only team playing the Eagles in 2025 to vote against banning the Tush Push. That's right, the Lions were the only 2025 opponent that the Eagles will play that said, no, let them run it. Let them run their Tush Push. We have lots of meat and potatoes in the middle of our defense, and, well, Dan Campbell, being a bit of a football purist, says, look, it's a football play, and if you can't stop it, that's on you. It's a skill issue at that point. So we will dive into that. We will then be walking on over. Found this little article. I kind of like what they have to say. They talk a lot about what we have to discuss here about this situation, and that is over at ProFootballRumors.com. That is the Lions unlikely to pursue Bengals DE Trey Hendrickson. This came out a little bit ago, May 25th, so a couple days ago. So something that they really touch on that I think we have talked about, and I think people need to kind of hold in the back of their mind the reality of why we're not going to go after a guy like Trey Hendrickson, as much as that might tickle our pickle and really just make us be like, oh, wow, what an awesome defense we'll have. We'll dive into that and discuss a little bit more, and then we'll be walking on over to Detroit Lions on SI. Jahmyr Gibbs raises eyebrows with a social media post. Jahmyr Gibbs reposted content on social media has some fans concerned. And full disclosure, guys, that last story is a little bit of a trying to find smoke. I'm going to be honest. It's an off-season filler story. So we'll get into all of these three articles, guys. Good morning, chat. Good morning, Chase. Hey, chat. Let's give a big shout out to our boy Chase. If I'm not mistaken, Chase, I was perusing on Facebook the other day. And did I read it correct that you got a promotion, my dude? So we got to give a big shout out. Big Hat and Beard. Congratulations to our boy here. I mean, he's a regular. He's here every single day, you guys. He's got the blue wrench. He's my boy Chase. So if I did indeed read that correctly, shout out to our boy Chase. See what happens when you put the Red Bulls down. Not only do you get a promotion at work, not only do you save money, but now you're making more money. You're doing better and thriving at life. So big shout. Yes, he did. I've only been with this company for 6 months. So after 6 months of just hustling and grinding, putting the Red Bulls down, tuning into the Hat and Beard Show every single day. Look at you, dude. Look how well you're doing in life now, bro. You got an old lady that takes care of you. You got a promotion at work. You're making more money. You're saving money. You're off the Red Bulls. I'm just saying, causation doesn't always equal correlation doesn't always equal causation. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say it's got something to do with the Hat and Beard Show. So, congrats to Chase. Big shout out, bro. Seriously, that's awesome. Good morning, Jeanette Hall. Good morning, Mr. Detroit City. Looks like we got all the regulars in here hanging out. So, look, if you're new here, I know what you're asking if you're watching this after the show. Hey, oh my God, this show is so much fun. It is arguably the largest and fastest growing Detroit Lions and NFL content creation station here in the 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mr. Brent DeWitt, shout out. Good morning, brother. I was just wondering if you were here as well, dude. Good morning, Mr. Brent DeWitt. We are the largest, fastest growing NFL and Detroit Lions content creation station here in the 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. block, streaming exclusively from from Grandma Studio One. So if you want to be a part of the Hat and Beard Show and hang out with this rowdy bunch of individuals that really kind of make the show, look, I'm going to be honest, you guys, I say it all the time. I just simply read the content that is provided to me and I read the chat. You guys are the ones who keep things spicy and keep the liveliness of the show going. So if you want to know how you can partake and be a part of this rowdy bunch Monday through Wednesday, and there will be plans. We will be making announcements here towards the end of June. on what you can expect for the regular season, on when we will be going 5 days a week. All you got to do is do a barrel roll on over to the description of the video. There you'll see a subscribe button, and it's subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and then ring that notification bell. That's the kicker right there. That's how you know when we go live every Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Go ahead and ring that notification bell so you can be up to date, and then like the video, comment down below. We'll go ahead and engage with the poll here. We have, are you happy with the defensive end room for the Detroit Lions, or should we trade? The options are happy, let them ride, or please bring in help. There are no wrong answers, and right now we got 4 votes sitting at a solid 50-50, kind of like where we're going with that one. So, and that, the biggest thing here, guys, look, I know we're a little rusty. We had a long holiday weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about that, what's going on here at the Hat and Beard Show. Share this video around. Just click that link down, copy to your clipboard. You don't have to share it with your friends or anything like that. It gives the algorithm the illusion. It's the best way to help us grow the channel here. So let's just get through it and get into the show.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
All right, guys. So appreciate you guys sticking around. Last week was a little bit of a shit show. Some of you guys are aware, my company is being a bit of a transitionary period here between the city kind of running it and now private ownership coming in and partially managing. It's a bit of a sticky situation. Fair warning, I'm not exactly sure if there will be a show tomorrow, be it that we are a UAW facility. Our CBA is expiring, and we need to be opening negotiations. We have a very, very shortened window now to get our new CBA in place before the old one expires. And today, I will know whether or not we'll have Wednesday and Thursday to negotiate. So if I have negotiations tomorrow, there will be no morning show because I have to work day shift tomorrow and be there all day for negotiations. Possibly there will be an afternoon live stream just to kind of hang out, kind of a misbehaving with chat and beard type situation. If not, if I don't have negotiations this week, then we'll just proceed. We'll have a normal show tomorrow, like always, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. as always. But I do appreciate you guys. Last week was a little goofy. We had Memorial Day weekend this weekend, so hopefully everybody got things done. Personally, well, had all these big plans, right? Ended up working 410s, much to the dismay of my boss hole. We ended up pulling the 410s, and me and Hat and Boobs had a big plan of we'd have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 4 big days to get a bunch of yard projects done. And, Tuesday, I was at work and kind of moving some things around, working on some stuff, replacing stuff, and might have moved something that probably shouldn't have moved by myself. And, sometimes, guys, sometimes your boy Hat and Beard here forgets that he's 37 and thinks that he's still 17 or even 27. And at the time, didn't realize it, felt fine. It wasn't until Wednesday. Oh, golly. Ooh, boys, Wednesday, I woke up and honestly, like through my entire abdominal section, I was just, I felt like a human tube of toothpaste. You know what I'm saying? Real full. So I thought I had like a GI issue going on. Maybe I didn't reheat my meatballs all the way that prior night for dinner or whatever. Wednesday, still thought it was a GI issue. Started getting some sweats, some temperatures, getting chills, that type of stuff. So I was like, okay, it's a GI issue. Couldn't call off Thursday because if I did that, I'd forfeit my holiday pay for Monday. Suffered through Thursday, but it started to get a little bit better. Started shifting from the entire abdomen over to the one side, just on the left side, right? Starting to get real focalized. Couldn't take a deep breath, couldn't lay down. Any type of engagement in my core started to hurt. So then I started realizing it wasn't a GI issue, it was a muscular issue. And then I started thinking, okay, by Thursday, I realized what I had done Tuesday. And ultimately, what it was I had still have, we're still, look, I'm being patient with my recovery because I don't want to overdo it. I've learned from my mistakes, right? So we're going to take at least a week, if not 2, of recovery, real basic movements, that type of stuff. So it's called an intercostal injury, right? So what I had done was the muscles that connect my ribs to my abs. I had like strained them and started to tear the muscles that connect my abs to my ribs. And like even now, if I take like a real deep breath, it's like a real jarring pain. But yeah, Friday. Oh my gosh, Friday. I was starting to worry that I had to have because I don't know how my guts are laid out, right? I don't know how everything lines up here. But I was like, oh my God, I have to have my gallbladder out. You know, I'm about that same age my old man had his gallbladder out. Then I was like, oh my God, maybe it's like a pancreas or a spleen or something like that. And Hat and Boobs is like, well, if that was the case, you'd already be dead. And I was like, that's a good point. But the one thing that was freaking me out was I kept having these epic, just like hot and cold bouts where I would just be shivering and then sweating. And I'm like, why? But I wasn't having a fever, nothing. So doing a little bit of research, come find out it was my central nervous system was in such disarray from the injury and also then the stress of just everything in work and all that stuff that my body was just going absolutely bananas. So we didn't get nearly as much work done this weekend. How'd you guys have this weekend? Moving to Florida, starting a faith channel with Mr. Detroit City and putting it all in God's hands. Nice, brother. Hey, man, I'd fucking love to, dude. That'd be awesome. I've been cooking something up. Moved yesterday by myself. Mistakes were made. Oh, Chase. Hey, brother. Look at you. Dude, Chase, why didn't you say something, man? Actually, you know what, Chase? Full disclosure, bro. I feel really, really bad. I know, guys, we haven't gotten into this articles yet. We're just kind of slogging through. But Chase, dude, I feel really bad. You and John have been messaging me a lot. And I've just been so just like overwhelmed with shit outside of work, dude, or related to work and then just kind of home stuff, man. Don't take it personal, man. I've just like completely shut down like communications with people. I fully intend to try. It's just I get a little bit of anxiety when I don't fucking communicate with people after, like a day or two. So don't take it personal. It's nothing you did, dude. I'm just being an asshole, man. I'm just like grossly overwhelmed with a lot of shit right now, bro. So don't take it personal. But where did you move? Did you move in with the old lady, brother? Is that what's going on? You and the old lady get a pad? Pump for Trump. Hashtag pump for Trump. Fuck yeah, Mr. Detroit City. Got to work out. That's the thing, dude. And that's I texted Hat and Boobs after I got done with my workout. Real basic, really scaled everything down to just basic movements. Gotta make sure that the rehab's good on the core, because recently I've been trying to focus more on core, engaging core, making sure that my posterior chain is protected, that type of stuff. So the plan now, and maybe we can all be in on this plan, is June and July we're gonna condition and maintenance ourselves into getting back to where we wanted to be, and that will lead us right into the regular season. And then my plan is August through from August until the start of Lent. Okay, so from like August 1-ish to the start of Lent, I'm gonna go into a heavy bulk. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm planning on doing. Moved into my grandma's house. She's 90 and has 3 unused bedrooms for me and the kids. Nice, dude. I asked Coach Dan on Lions Talk Live, mentioned you being a growing show, and he said he would love to have you on. Get out of here, for real? For real, Mr. Detroit City? Are you serious, dude? Bro, that's awesome, dude. If you really did that, Mr. Detroit City, holy shit, bro. Look, man, all I'm saying is that, like, if I were ever to get to the point where I could, like, talk to these guys, I think that my interview style would be not so much an interview. Like, it would be more of just like, dude, I'm not going to just like sit here and talk to you like an analyst or like a corporate guy. I'm just going to have a conversation with these dudes. Like, yeah, we could talk some ball, but I want to know like what makes Dan Campbell tick? Like, what do you do on the, like, bro, when you go home, like, what is your routine? You know what I'm saying? Like how, like, what do you do in the evenings, bro? What do you do in your spare time? What is something that no one knows? Like, what do you like watching, dude? What are you a big fan of, Dan Campbell? I get it. You're going to be like, I love watching film, but it's like, come on, dude. Come find out like Dan Campbell's like a big Tolkien fan or something. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be something I'd like to just get to know these guys. You know what I'm saying? Start an actual podcast called The Chat and Beard Show. I'm active in chat since I quit my old career. I have so much free time now in life. Damn, DeWitt, for real, he did? Damn. Mr. Detroit City. Jesus Christ, bro. Thank you, dude. I'm giving you a bunch of hearts in the chat. Dan has hundreds of people watching every morning engaged with the chat. No shit, dude. That's awesome. Fuck yeah. What is that on? At Lions Talk Live? Write that down. Lions Talk Live. All right, cool. I'll check that out, dude. What time is that? Oh, it's on at okay, 7 a.m. Woohoo! Man, what are you guys doing up at 7 a.m.? Good Lord. All right. All right, now that we've done cooked 15 minutes of the show just talking about nonsense, let's try and run through some of these stories, huh? I go into chats and plug the show using that. Hey, man, Mr. Trey City, I really, really appreciate you helping, dude. Seriously, that's super awesome, dude. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it. All right. Let's go ahead and hit our oil can real quick here. All right, Lions news. Lions Tush Push vote puts them in unique company. That's right. Like it or not, the Philadelphia Eagles have been the class of the NFL for a while now, even though they're greasy, dating back to the 2017 season where they capped off a magical run with their first Super Bowl win in franchise history. Since then, they've appeared in 2 more and won the most recent by thumping the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. Simply put, Eagles general manager Howie Roseman has assembled one of the most complete rosters in the league. And at the center of it all, the dominant and controversial Tush Push. Yes, that's right. That is the most important part of the Eagles' success is the Tush Push. Has nothing to do with Howie Roseman just drafting defensive studs every single year. Has nothing to do with that. It is all because of the dominant and controversial Tush Push. It certainly seems like the major powers in the NFL want the play gone, and given that the leagues ultimately get what it wants, it's likely to be banned in the near future. But for now, Philadelphia's opponents will deal with another year of tush pushing. Yeah. Tush pushing. In fact, every one of the Eagles' 2025 regular season opponents were in favor of the ban. That is, every one but one team. That's right, all but one. Quote, I'm of the school of, look, we don't run that, said Detroit Lions coach Dan Campbell back in March. Jared Goff, we're not going to. It doesn't mean we don't quarterback sneak, but we don't do that. But I'm of the school of, hey, they found something that's up for it. Everyone else can't stop it, so I'm a hard yes for keeping it in the game. Personally, I'm not surprised that Campbell has taken that stance in many ways. The man is a football purist and if anyone is going to figure out how to stop it, it might end up being the Dan Campbell-led Lions. This is the image that I was looking for originally was Eagles 25 opponents who voted in favor of the ban. All of them, except for one. The Detroit Lions were the only team that said, you know what? Fucking keep it. We're going to beat your ass anyway. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And now on to the rest of today's notes. Okay, well, we're not gonna poke down the notes, but just know that the Lions are the only team that the Eagles will play this year that voted, hey, you know what? Let them play it. Let them run it. Let them run it. Let them run it. Run it. Run it. Run it. Down in the chat, Dan has hundreds of people watching the morning engage. Oh, we read that? Go to the chats, plug. Lions are the only team on the Eagles schedule that voted against the Tush Push. Exactly, dude. We're the only ones that voted to keep it. We're not the ones that voted. We were the only ones that voted against the ban. We're the only team that said, "Hey, oops, I mean 4." Yes, we're the only team that voted to keep it. We're the only ones that said, "You know what? We'll go toe to toe with you. We'll put our nuts on the table. You run your tush push, and we're just gonna beat you anyway. You run that tush push as much as you want. When you're already down 6 possessions by halftime, what does it really matter? Because, I mean, guys, we've talked about this. Detroit's going 17-0, so I don't know what we're all worried about. Cool, we got through that pretty quickly. If you guys haven't already, would you kindly assault that like button, hit it with the old 2-piece and a biscuit on your way out the door. Share this video around with all your friends. All you got to do is simply copy that link down on your clipboard. It costs you nothing. It helps the channel out a lot. And if you're new here, subscribe to that channel. If you really want to know how you can engage in the chat and never miss out on any of this high quality mid-tier content, ring that notification bell, and then you can hang out in the chat with guys like Brent DeWitt, Mr. Detroit City, and I'm Chasing Chase every day, Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with plans. Guys, I'm very excited to announce these plans come the end of June, mid-June. We'll announce when we go 5 days a week, and it's very exciting. I think we'll be able to fill out an hour every single day. Copy and Chait in Woodward Sports Chat. Hell yeah, dude. F them. That's what I'm saying, dude. Look, you know what, Mr. Detroit City? It is a guerrilla grassroots movement here, dude, and we got to do whatever we can. Look, we're not trying to change sports talk here, right? We're just trying to do what's right in sports talk, and that is we're just going to chat sports. We're going to chat with you. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about sports talk here. You guys know that. We talk about life stuff, family stuff. We talk about wrestling. We talk about religion. We talk about all kinds of stuff, man. And mostly it's sports-centric focus. But, you know, we're not just going to be a panel of people screaming at each other for the clips. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Trade City, PBD live chat, all of them, LOL. Hey, man. Dude, look, man. Look, okay. I don't know PBD personally. I watch his show a lot. All right, I actually watch Valuetainment quite a bit. I know he's kind of got some skeevy business deals or whatever, but look, dude, he knows how to market himself, and he's gotten a lot of good people on his show before. You know, he asked pretty good questions. You know what I'm saying? If you guys remember, during the shortly lived Bootgate that was the end of Ron DeSantis's political presidential career, at least in the 24 cycle. He actually got a pair of boots for Ron DeSantis while he had him on. It was pretty funny. All right, guys, so let's get into this Trey Hendrickson article. It talks about a lot of stuff that we've talked about here before. So, as the Bengals' Trey Hendrickson contract impasse drags on, the possibility of a trade looms over the situation. The Lions, despite recent interest in elite edge players like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, do not appear to be a Hendrickson suitor. Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press says in pursuit of the 2024 sack leader would run counter to the Lions' current operation. After all, Detroit is in the midst of negotiations with its own standout pass rusher, Aiden Hutchinson, and those discussions may well accumulate in an extension that catapults Hutchinson to the top of the edge market, currently paced by Garrett's $40 million a year annual average value. It would therefore be quite difficult for the Lions to surrender notable draft capital to complete a Hendrickson trade, even if Cincinnati relaxes its demands on the first-round pick, plus more, and then authorizes a contract near the top of the market for the second defensive end. Hendrickson's age 30 will likely prevent him from reaching the $40 million a year club, but Burkett suggests a $35 million a year average value is not out of the question. Personally, I don't think I'd be willing to pay more than $25 with incentives to get up to $30 million a year for Trey Hendrickson. Sorry, dude, you're 30. And as a Detroit Lions aficionado, we have to focus on paying the people that we have here, namely Aiden Hutchinson, who's going to have 69 sacks next year and not only win defensive MVP, but be the NFL MVP. Sean Ryan Show plugs hat. Rogan plugs hat. Theo Vaughn plugs hat. Yes, Mr. Detroit City, dude. Yo, we're going to start a grassroots movement to the point where those guys end up having me on their show simply because they want to know why people keep plugging the Hat and Beard Show in the chat so hard, dude. Honestly, I've been watching Joe Rogan for a long time, and Sean Ryan recently. I've seen clips of the Sean Ryan Show for a few years now. Recently started watching full episodes, and actually just this weekend, Hat and Boobs was like, "Hey, have you seen this guy before? He had." She goes, "Who was the quarterback of the Broncos?" That I went, Tim Tebow. She's like, "Yeah, he had Tim Tebow." I was like, "Yeah, Sean Ryan's awesome, dude." And shout out Tim Tebow. Holy crap, dude. Doing the Lord's work, saving kids from bad situations, right? Like, dude, Tim Tebow just, like, it really sucks that he couldn't figure out the mechanics of throwing a ball. You know what I'm saying? Because if Tim Tebow could have been an actual quarterback in the league, the face of the NFL would be Tim Tebow, right? The NFL would be billions of dollars farther ahead now if Tim Tebow had succeeded instead of Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? Big support. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Yes, Mr. Detroit City. He really he goes after the trafficking stuff. Tim Tebow's big against the anti-trafficking. My friend actually just put him based on a true trafficking story here in no shit. Wow, Mr. Detroit City. That's wild, dude. And the trafficking stuff is that's just dark, man. That stuff's wild. That is called it's called Breaking Shadows. Okay, let's write that down. Breaking Shadows. Cool. Dude, I'll check that out. I just wrote that down. Breaking Shadows. Nice, dude. The Lions have other contractual matters to resolve while Hutchinson is presumably at the top of Brad Holmes' agenda at the moment. Burkett says the club is looking ahead to a second deal for running back Jahmyr Gibbs. And that's what I've been saying. Haven't I been saying Gibbs is look, oh my gosh, look at all these names. Let's just finish this paragraph. Who will be eligible for a new contract at the end of the 2025 season, and other internal cornerstones. While Burkett does not expressly say so, it could be that Gibbs' 23 draft classmates like Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch are already on Holmes' extension radar. He finalized record-setting contract extension for safety Kirby Joseph just a few weeks ago. That's right, we have the highest paid and the number one safety in the NFL, Kirby Joseph. But these are the names that keep popping, right? We have to re-sign Hutch. We have to re-sign Gibbs. We have to re-sign Campbell, Laporta, and Branch. These are all names that we have got to have the money there to resign. And unfortunately, if we go after a guy like a Trey Hendrickson, if we were to spend the money for these defensive ends that we want, then we're not going to have the money for the players that we need to keep in house, the difference makers. Sam Laporta, Jack, had a very quiet sophomore campaign, right? That's fine. He was marred by injuries, and we still went 15-2. Sam Laporta should be healthy this season. Expect big things from Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta is the number 2 receiving option on the team. Not the number 2 wide receiver, but he's the number 2 pass catcher on the team behind Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Jahmyr Gibbs is the top 3 running back in the NFL. You have to re-sign him. Brian Branch, top 5 safety in the NFL. You have to re-sign him. And Jack Campbell kept our defense together last year. Jack Campbell, poised to have a breakout season this year. Jack Campbell, who will be the next Brian Urlacher of the NFC North. Jack Campbell must be re-signed. These players must be re-signed. We must keep these guys in house. Of course, the prospect of pairing Hutchinson with Hendrickson is a tempting one. Hendrickson has earned Pro Bowl acumen in each of the 4 seasons with the Bengals and has recorded 17.5 sacks in both of the past 2 seasons. His 2024 showing led the NFL for first-team All-Pro bid and placed him second in Defensive Player of the Year ballot voting. Hutchinson, who will turn 25 in August, averaged 10 sacks per season over his first 2 NFL campaigns and hit 7.5 sacks in just 5 contests in 2024 before breaking his leg into a big pudding pile over Aleem McNeil's big fucking leg. It was just the injury that led to Detroit in-season trade interest in Garrett and Crosby after the season was rebuffed in those pursuits. After the team was rebuffed, it pivoted and got Zadarius Smith with Hutchinson ready to go for a 2025. Burkett says the team will seek complementary piece rather than a marquee addition. Smith, who was released in a cost-cutting move in March, still profiles as a logical candidate to return. Holmes said last month he has not spoken with Smith's camp since the release, but those comments were made before the 2025 draft. Now the draft is in the books. Clubs have a better idea of who the roster needs. The 2 sides could circle back to each other. DeMarcus Walker, who visited in Detroit in April, also remains unsigned, as does Von Miller. The Lions re-signed Marcus Davenport this offseason after his first year in the Motor City was cut short by an elbow injury. As of the time of this writing, Davenport is penciled as the Hutchinson bookend to Detroit's defensive front. Now, that is the thing that we need to talk about. Before, let's roll over into the chat real quick. Remember him from General Hospital. I'm telling you, God has a plan. Stay tuned. Apps coming. Hell yes, dude. Hell yes, Mr. Detroit City. I agree with you. Oh, Jason Kenyon. Good morning, Jason Kenyon. Welcome to the Hat and Beard Show. I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Even though he got hurt last season, Rodrigo will see an extension for his quite good work, and the utility player won't be a huge contract, but communicate to his contributions. Jason Kenyon, my guy, I hope you're still here, brother, because that is somebody that we need to talk about. Somebody that I feel is incredibly slept on, and that is Malcolm Rodriguez. I have said for a few, basically this whole offseason, that yes, he did get hurt last year, but Malcolm Rodriguez is a linchpin to our defense and special teams. I also strongly think that even if we do extend Alex Anzalone, remember Alex Anzalone's in a contract year, he is on the wrong side of 30 years old. He is a cornerstone and a focal point of our defense. First timer, welcome, Jason Kenyon. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I can earn your fandom here, dude. And make sure if you really like it, subscribe, turn your notification bells on, dude. We go live Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with plans to expand to 5 days a week. Come closer to the start of the regular season. I do believe that Malcolm Rodriguez's role will be the ultimate replacement for Alex Anzalone. I think that Alex Anzalone, even though if we do extend him, you will see his role reduced as the years go on, because unfortunately he is getting older. Now, if his play still maintains at an incredibly high level, you'll have to justify taking him off the field. However, the conditioning, the learning, the teaching of Jack Campbell will no longer need to be necessary. Malcolm Rodriguez will no longer need to be coached up on the field as much as he once was. And I think that Malcolm Rodriguez poises to be that Alex Anzalone replacement. The reason that we keep Alex Anzalone around, though, is because of what he means to the team, the contributions he's made on the field, as well as the fandom absolutely loves him. Alex Anzalone has been a Detroit guy since coming here, a guy that has really embodied what we want to do. So moving on from him will be incredibly difficult. However, Malcolm Rodriguez, I think Malcolm Rodriguez is that guy. I want to see him stick around in Detroit for the tenure of his career, and I also draw a lot of comparisons to the success that Malcolm Rodriguez has had in his tenure in Detroit to what we could expect to have out of Ahmed Hassanin, right? I think Ahmed Hassanin fits that Malcolm Rodriguez player psych profile, obviously different positions, but psych profile the same way that Malcolm Rodriguez did. And I think Malcolm Rodriguez is the future of the outside linebacker position once Alex Anzalone begins to run into that age wall and starts to be phased back a little bit simply because of the age. Ultimately, I'd like to see Alex Anzalone maybe become part of the coaching staff eventually. That's just my take on Malcolm Rodriguez. I think he is the long-term solution at the outside linebacker spot. You live in Oklahoma but grew up in Michigan. I live an hour from where Malcolm is from and met his uncle. Oh, they're cool people. Right on. Malcolm is toward the end of a rookie contract and is very valuable to the team. He's even taken snaps on offense as a halfback. That's right. He did play a little bit of fullback when Cabinda was hurt. You know what I'm saying? And welcome, Jason. Shout out, dude. That's awesome that you live in Oklahoma. Speaking of Oklahoma, I'd really like to see... I'm a big UFL fan. I'd really like to see the Houston Roughnecks move to Oklahoma, or like Oklahoma City, so that the UFL could then play their own Red River rivalry. You know what I'm saying? I think Malcolm Rodriguez is a vital piece to the Detroit Lions organization, and like you say, he is running on the end of his rookie contract, which is very, very small to begin with. He was a 6th-round pick. You know what I'm saying? And what a contributing member to the organization he has been in his time in Detroit. What an outstanding player he has been. He outperformed veterans his rookie year. He would have had I honestly think Malcolm Rodriguez would have had a dynamic season, push 100 tackles, and Malcolm Rodriguez could have been one of a linchpin player that would have elevated our defense. Maybe we could have been a better defense in the playoffs simply because of the player that Malcolm Rodriguez would be had he not gotten hurt. There's nothing you can really do about injuries. Unfortunately, when he did get hurt, that was one of them that I was like, God damn it, that is a significant blow, because even though he was a reserve player, air quote reserve player, backup player, when you have a starting caliber player who is willing to take on the role that Malcolm Rodriguez has taken on, that is a massive luxury. That is a player that you have to reward with the contract. You got to pay the man, and then you start to develop him to replace Alex Anzalone, so that in 2 years, our linebacking core is led by Action Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez, Rodrigo the Man, and Derek Barnes. You know what I'm saying? Those are 3 solid linebackers I think we could have. Zach Cunningham is a nobody's shoe filler. Yeah, Zach Cunningham has really just kind of just shit the bed. He had, a couple good years early on, but not really of anything worth note. Didn't Lions sign linebacker this morning? Zach Cunningham. Okay, that is correct. I think you are right, Brent DeWitt. Oh, sorry, my cats are making all kinds of weird noise. They're kind of fighting in the other room, and it just really freaked me out for a minute. Some cats make weird demonic noises sometimes, dude. Rodrigo was too invaluable to have lost last season. He just shows up everywhere. And that's exactly it, dude. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The value that he brings. Okay, so like last year, I kept saying, our defense was built with depth enough that the first couple of injuries we could suffer through, right? Barnes going down, okay, we got Rodrigo, right? Hutch going down was the big one. Carlton Davis kind of really deflated us. Alex Anzalone really just popped everything. The availability, the unavailability, and then finally the inavailability of Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader not necessarily being what he should have been. It just got to be too much. However, if we could have just gotten through that first line of injuries and guys like Rodrigo would have stayed healthy, again, our defense would have been an entirely different situation. Brent DeWitt, he poses a good question. Rodrigo's projection for returning from injury. Let's go ahead and look that up. Malcolm Rodriguez injury update. Let's look that up, Brent DeWitt. Now that you point, it's good. Is currently recovering from a torn ACL suffered during a game against the Chicago Bears in November. Oh, it was kind of late in the season. He underwent surgery to repair an injury. He is expected to be sidelined for the remainder of the 24 season, potentially in the 20. Oh, this is kind of old. So making progress in rehabilitation will be play in 2025. Here we go. When did this come out? May 22. We'll see Malcolm Rodriguez for the first time, 2025. Last year, Rodriguez. Oh. Well, that doesn't help us at all. That doesn't help us at all. That doesn't help us at all. That's old. That's old. That's old. Well, bud, I can't really tell you. Let's see. Holy cow. Okay, Rodriguez was too invaluable. Projection after camp into the preseason. Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. My opinion on Rodriguez's return. So what we can speculate is that it was a little late in the season. We're gonna. I would put Rodrigo's timeline similar to Aleem McNeil's. Just it was too late in the year for us to be fully rehabbed by training camp. Maybe midway through training camp, but probably I wouldn't see maybe he's on the PUP list into the first couple weeks of the regular season. But personally, I think Malcolm Rodriguez is too valuable of an asset to expect him to, even when he does return, not to be a contributing member of the defense. I think there's plans for him. Personally, knowing that Calvin Shepard was our linebackers coach and was a big fan of Malcolm Rodriguez, right? And now being that he is our defensive coordinator, I'm sure there's a plan for Malcolm Rodriguez. Let's see, Brent DeWitt. I'm hearing October or later. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Yeah, it's. Oh, excuse me. I'd put him on the same timeline or timetable as Big Aleem. Yeah, Aleem is November sometime. Yeah, so October, November, and then just because they're ready to play doesn't mean are they going to be up to game speed? Did they rehab properly? Did they what has happened to the speed, the reactiveness? Now ACLs aren't what they used to be anymore. Now it's ACL. Let's be honest, guys. Back in the day, some of you guys might remember this. An ACL meant your career was over. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until Deuce McAllister was one of the first guys to come back from a torn ACL. And then Adrian Peterson did it, and then it was just kind of like, oh, you can come back from this. Just found him projected as October. All right, thank you, Jason. Jason Kenya, Brent DeWitt. Man, you guys are good on this. You guys got some lightning fingers. Yeah, so we're gonna just go ahead and say October, November timeline. Worst case scenario, we'll say Christmas. Best case scenario, we get him for a little October surprise. You like what I did there? Hot dog. Man, I got jokes. Yeah, we're going to hope that he's an October surprise, and at the very least, we can all be thankful for his return against the Packers. You see what I did there? You see what I did there? Very funny. Okay, well, we did get a late start, so we're going to run a little bit late here, guys. I do need to go in a little bit earlier today. Hopefully Broderick doesn't eat Aleem. Hopefully Broderick gets kicked out of the locker room. Broderick Martin is going to be, personally, Broderick Martin hasn't done anything. If Hassanin shows any motor, Broderick Martin's done. There isn't enough room for Broderick Martin to stick around. We bring in Lopez, draft in Tyleek. Our defensive ends we got like 150 defensive ends on the roster right now. And Broderick Martin, I mean, he's one of them tweener guys that we kind of like. You know what I'm saying? But what have you done for me ever, let alone lately, Broderick Martin? Yes. Last season, Broderick Martin did the Aleem McNeil thing, and in the offseason cut a bunch of weight, and we were all hype about it, and then he promptly went out and did diddly squat with his new body. You know what I'm saying? He was just worthless, for lack of a better term. And, you know, we're starting to get to the point here in the Brad Holmes tenure where even these third-round guys, look, if you're not going to play, man, I can't just keep you on the roster. I got to have bodies. I got to have bodies that can produce, and I got to have bodies that are available. Ahmed's brother is on Rocked on Detroit podcast now. Nice, dude. Will is a good guy, too. I'm going to work up to getting you on there to plug the show. Oh, dude, that's right. So I'm Ahmed Hassanin, his brother, be doing a lot of podcasts, doesn't he? Glad I never tore my knees out in rodeo. Shattered my foot. Thankfully, had surgery after returning at 31. Surgery was career-ending. Dude, Jason Kenyon. That's what. So you did bull riding, dude. I got an uncle on Hatton Boob's side. He did bull riding too, and that seems to kind of be the story. Is y'all can do it for a little bit, and then it seems it's like one wicked fucking injury does you guys in. And bro, I'm not even gonna pretend to be in that fucking wheelhouse, dude. I'm gonna be real. You ain't never gonna catch my honky ass on no damn bull. So y'all got some big fucking balls for doing that shit. So I'm not even gonna pretend like, oh, an injury ruined your career. Fuck that, dude. I'd never even be in that nonsense, dude. So, dude, even if you were like, I broke my toe and I retired. Yep, sounds like a good enough plan for me. Damn, Jason, you kind of crazy, my guy. Bucking horses didn't get. Okay. Okay. Didn't get onto bulls. Darn. Well, let me tell you something else about Hat and Beard. You ain't never gonna catch me on no bucking fucking horse, dude. Hell no. You guys are nuts, man. You guys are nuts. I mean, I think that's awesome. Don't misunderstand me. I think that's really, really, really badass, dude. You guys are nuts, man. You guys are nuts. It's like y'all, dudes that do like bungee jumping, jump out of airplanes and shit. You guys are nuts, man. You guys are some adrenaline junkies. So more power to you, bro. But holy cow, that's some badassery right there, dude. That's some badassery. Woo. So you did rodeo. Now, are you still involved with rodeo? Do you still like? I guess this comes from a complete place of ignorance, dude. I don't know like the culture of Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? All I can go off of is what I've seen in movies, dude. I have no idea what the culture's like in Oklahoma. Ahmed's brother had me laughing out loud when he said that the Lions have never won an NFL championship. We do have NFL championships. We just don't have one in the Super Bowl era. Dog, the shit guys went through and still competed. I was lucky. 26 years starting at age 5 till 30. Wow. 18 years saddle, bronc, and riding along. Damn, dude. Okay, so Jason, it's like you started at 5. So that's like the thing down there, huh? It's like if you're gonna do it, you start early, huh? Combined time, the World Equestrian Center is amazing. Not involved really, but I am a third gen from Michigan, and rodeo is a big sport in Michigan. So I used to go back in the day when I was like a kid, right? So my old man retired from MSU, you know what I'm saying? And they used to have rodeo out there at the pavilion, and we used to go like every year, dude. Just like go and like, I mean, look, I'm pretty redneck, right? So I get off on that kind of shit. I like that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's wild, dude. You're a third gen from Michigan, and so like, does your family do rodeo up here, dude? Like, are they like involved with rodeo up here? Because that's pretty wild, man. If you did rodeo, are you still like, do you like work on like a ranch or something, dude? Are you like a horse guy or whatever, like a cowboy? You know what I'm saying? Mr. Tree City. I was raised on horse racetracks till 5. Damn, dude. Damn, y'all are into the equestrian. The one thing I learned about equestrian stuff, you got to have deep fucking pockets for that stuff. Like legit. I don't want to own horses, but I want to I don't want to own horses, but I want to own like boarding stables or whatever. I want to own the land that you leave your horses on. Actually, I think one of her other uncles does that. Now that I mention it, I think one of her other uncles owns some horse stables down in Florida. I think in that Florida area. Oh, Osla, Loki. What's Osla? They did rodeo up there, but none is involved anymore. Gotcha. Okay. So your family's like been rodeoing for a bit then, Mr. Kenyon. Okay, gotcha. That's wild, dude. I've never talked to anybody that's like actually rodeoed before, dude. You know what I'm saying? I've only ever seen it on TV. Like I'm not gonna lie, dude. It's like I kind of feel like I'm talking to like someone who's done like a race car driver or something. You know what I mean? Something that I've never done. Joliet, close to every coast in Orlando. Is Osla like in northern Florida? You know what, dude? I'll have to ask Hatton Boobs whereabouts her uncle be living down there. 'Cause she's got family down there. You know what I'm saying? She's got family down there, which is kind of one of the other reasons why we're like, oh, maybe we could move to Florida someday. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to move someplace where there's like no family. But at the same time, guys, like I don't want to move too far away because like what I'd really like to do is obviously make enough money to buy like some property to have like a compound. And I say compound, I realize that sounds real like Branch Davidian, Waco, Texas, Ruby Ridge type situation, but like substantial amount of property that like, say you got like a 20-acre plot and I could have like my house where me and Hat and Boobs live. And then what I really want to do is like on the other side is I want to build like a house for like my mom and dad to live on. You know what I'm saying? So that like we're close, but they're not like bugging me all the time, but like we're on the same property. So I can like help them take care of shit. And then like my dad doesn't have to like mow the lawn and all that stuff. And like whenever they go on vacation, we're just like right there. You know what I mean? Like nothing I ever asked for. That's like what I really want to do is like build like a compound. You know what I'm saying? 45 minutes from Daytona, 2 hours from Jacksonville. Labor Day weekend, go to McMain, Michigan. It is one of the best rodeo experiences you'll ever get. Plus, I spent a lot of time at MSU. I love competing at the pavilion in February for the pro rodeo they have. Yes, dude. I just want to not starve to death. Chase, all right, yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay, Mr. Promotion Chase. You don't want to starve to death, Mr. Promotion. Mr. Promotion over here. Oslo, look it up, brother. It has what you're looking for. They call it slow cala, but growing. Okay, hang on. OCALA, ALA. Is it Osla? Am I pronouncing that right? Man, that's so. You say there's a in McMain, Michigan, huh? In McMain, there's a big rodeo. Let's check this out. McMain, Michigan rodeo. Cow Camp? Is that what it is? We're in Missaukee County. Am I reading that? Pronounces it Ocala. Ocala? Not Osla. Mr. Beard, that's what I was hoping for when I moved to Oklahoma. Didn't work out so well. Oh, you want it? Hey, Jason, you know what, dude? But at least you made a move, dude. Did we almost made a move a few years back because I ended up spending too much time watching the first 3 seasons, the good seasons of Yellowstone. And I wanted to move to Montana and have a compound so bad, dude. Oh, no shit. Dante Culpepper went to high school down there in Ocala. Huh, that's great. Cow Camp. I grew up there with the family. No shit. Let's see where this is at. McBain. Oh, wow, you're way up there. Okay, well, that's not that high up there. That's not too bad. Actually, my folks are camping up in this area here this weekend. That's actually not too bad, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, there's a nice little... So is this all like kind of rural country then? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Huh. No shit. I might have to check that out, dude. Shit. I'm going to have to check that out. That ain't even that far away. I mean, it is, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Cadillac ain't that bad. I got family in the Cadillac area, actually. Mitchell, wait, Cadillac. Yeah, I got family in Boone County. In Boone County. So, got to bounce to work meeting. All right, Chase, have a good morning, Mr. Promotion, dude. And congratulations, Chase. Seriously, dude. Congratulations on your promotion. Go kill it at work, brother. Sparta, Michigan has a rodeo every year still, I think. Went for 5 years in a row back in the 90s. Right on, Brent DeWitt. Hell yeah. You live in Lake City. Is that Lake City, Oklahoma? Is that Lake City, Oklahoma? Oh, look at that. Look at Oklahoma right here. Huh. Damn, dude, you made a fucking move. Whew. Damn, that's a haul. Yo, Jason, what prompted you to move to Oklahoma? Did you find a job or you find an old lady or something? I've lived all over Florida, from Tally to Jax to Fort Lauderdale, Boca, etc. Yeah, so Mr. Detroit City, so this is the thing. All right, okay. So this is what I was actually looking at. Like, I don't know the geography, I guess, of Florida as well. So when I talk about moving to Florida, there's no way I'm moving down fucking anywhere south of Fort Myers, okay? I don't feel like getting pummeled with hurricanes, right? Jacksonville, though, I didn't realize how north Jacksonville was. Damn. Wow. Okay, Jacksonville's actually pretty fucking north, huh? Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to go anywhere southern than, like, Gainesville. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to visit, because years ago, fellas, years and years ago, back when I was in my early 20s, I almost got a job out here at Nassau. I almost got a job working at a naval detachment doing maintenance at one of their facilities down in Nassau. And you could just fly back and forth like every day if you wanted. Oslo's right at my... Sorry, I meant Lake City. Oh. Gotcha. I was looking for Lake City down in Oklahoma. Next to Maine and Cadillac. I was a pro cowboy. I moved to Oklahoma. The top cowboys down here encouraged me to move down here and try. Gotcha. Dude, that's wild, Jason. That's wild. Damn. All right. That is wild, dude. That's fucking dope. So, Mr. Detroit City, you're saying Ocala is right up my alley? Is it, so you say it's North Florida? Whereabouts? Am I near it? Oh no, that's Osceola. Oh, now we're up into Georgia. Georgia. Who likes Georgia? Represent Detroit pro sports down there. Oh, hell yeah, dude. So you right near Gainesville? Oh, okay. So it's down in this area. All right, cool. Yeah, I could deal with this. I could deal with inland Florida. I could definitely deal with inland Florida. It's out on the bro, hurricanes freak me out, dude. Oslo is east of Tampa. Jason Kenyon. Are you sure this is the first time watching my show? Or did you just use the proper term for the town in Florida just on a whim? Because, bro, here at the Hat and Beard Show, dude, Jason, seriously, like, at the Hat and Beard Show, we have this thing. You see this? It's called Tampa, Florida. Sure, there's a bay. It's called the Tampa Bay. But there's no town in Florida named Tampa Bay. So I am always confused at who the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. Are they the Bay Buccaneers of Tampa, or are they the Tampa, Bay Buccaneers? You know what I'm saying? Bring us. Well, yeah, Mr. Detroit City. I was born in Tampa, almost on the racetrack. Damn. Okay, so you've kind of been around, Jason. Hurricanes don't F us at all. So when you're in mainland there, in this area here, you're saying, Mr. Detroit City, hurricanes don't really touch you too much. Coast, even though they're never an issue, storms other than bring us work. Good. All right. So what you're saying is well, technically, unless we're having the transition period between La Nina and El Nino, which is why Helene sprung up in the Gulf. Don't most hurricanes start in the Atlantic and move along the East Coast? So as long as I'm not along the East Coast, I should be fine, right? I've got friends from Bradenton to Odessa, Tampa, etc. Gulf of America. Let's go. You see it says right there too, Gulf of America, boys. America. Hell yeah, dude. Gulf of America. That's awesome. That is fucking awesome. Hell yeah, boys. Hell yeah. Well, it's stuff to look into. That's for sure. Won't be happening for a little bit. So gotta get the monies right. Gotta get through the CBA. Gotta get through our negotiations here. Worst city for storms I've lived in was Tallahassee due to armpit and hills. Well, I'll stay out of Tallahassee then for sure. For sure. Jackson Fort Lauderdale forums not bad. Just have to leave the island parts. Oh, I'm not planning on living on no island. See, my honky ass, if I was living in Jackson, I'd be living right in the fucking the landiest part of land that I could find. You see, because I don't have gills or wings, I got feet for walking around on this stuff, on this land stuff. That's what I keep my shit for. So, boom. Well, we're not gonna read this article. Maybe we'll dig into it tomorrow. It's been a while. We're hitting almost an hour of a show. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Jason, dude, shout out, dude. That's awesome, bro. I hope to see you around here, man. Some hurricanes come from the south into the Gulf, hit Texas, LA. I drove through after last hurricane hit the Texas, LA area. Had me in tears seeing the destruction. Oh, dude. You mean when it sprung up in the Gulf? Yeah, dude, those are some wild hurricanes. But that I if I'm not mistaken, Jason, that was because of we went through a El Nino to La Nina season, right? So I think we just had a wicked bad hurricanes there. Now, if you guys really want to get into it, I think we're seeing a increase in the violenceness of storms because the magnetic poles are shifting. And this happens once every 6,500 years. Some people call it the Adam and Eve theory, but there is possibility that when the magnetic poles settle, that the entire planet's going to shift onto its side, and the sun will rise in the south and set in the north for who knows however long until the magnetic poles reset themselves. That could be partly why the storms have gotten so absolutely ridiculous the past couple of years. If we watch a game, Lions fans unite. Easiest way I can think of right now. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Look at you guys connecting, becoming friends over there. That's what I like to see, boys. That's what I like to see. So today we talked about the Lions being the only team standing alone. There can be only one. The only team to vote to keep the tush push of opponents playing the Eagles this year. And that's we could have sided with everybody else, and nobody would have thought any less of us. But now, Dan Campbell's the guy that when he plays a game, he just goes right into the settings and puts that shit on hard mode right out of the rip, right? Because he wants to do it, and he wants to do it. He wants to beat you at your own game. He wants to beat you. He doesn't want to just win the game. He wants to beat you. Do your tush push. Fine. That's fine. Lions are still going to beat the shit out of the Eagles. And then we walked over and talked about kind of quashed the rumors. Okay, kind of found a little bit. Now, granted, this is definitely biased towards what I've been trying to say, so I just confirmation bias over here at the Hat and Beard Show. We went over to ProFootballRumors.com and talked about how the Lions are unlikely to pursue defensive end Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals. What it really comes down to is money, and even though it would be nice to have another premier edge rusher with us, the books don't allow for it. Not when you have to re-sign Aiden Hutchinson, who's going to reset the defensive end market. Not when you have to re-sign Jahmyr Gibbs, who's a top 3 running back in the NFL. And then on top of it, you have Action Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch. All these guys' contracts are going to be due, and we're going to have to pay them. We're going to have to pay them high-end money because they're high-end players. Look what we had to shell out for Kirby Joseph. Totally worth every penny, though. So, yeah, and then we talked about some rodeo, some Ohio stuff. We talked about moving down to Florida, some locations there where Hat can live safely away from hurricanes. I think we voted to keep the tush push is because of the trick plays we use, especially the lineman cleaning as, okay, all right. Global warming is not real, but the Bible has truths. I agree with you, Mr. Detroit City. Time to be running out on the script. time is running out. It's the scripture. Mr. Trey City, I don't disagree with you. Jason Kenyon, I like that a lot. I think we voted to keep the tush push because we run a lot of trick plays. I agree with you. My only caveat to that would be how many of the actual trick plays. Like I don't think Dan Skipper lining up wide to clear out is necessarily a trick play. It is in line with the tush push where it's like, hey, figure out a way to beat us. But I honestly think we're going to see a reduction in the trick plays with small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City, no longer calling plays here in Detroit. Surprised the Cheesehead voted against it, considering they stopped it twice in the playoffs. And that's the thing. I think Green Bay is actually the most successful team at stopping the tush push, short of the Washington Commies, who decided that look, you can't run it if you just jump off sides every play. Kind of thought Green Bay, but they're the ones, I think they're the ones who actually really kind of catapulted this, really pushed us to the forefront. They were the guys really kind of like, hey, we got to get rid of this. This has got to be done. And I know that Buffalo was behind it as well, but a little surprising, but not when you really think about it. On the surface level, passing by, you'd kind of expect everyone to be anti-tush push, and then the Lions said, no, keep it. They're the only team playing the Eagles that said keep it. And it just speaks to the mentality of the team, the mentality of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. We're going to beat you with toughness. He said it, and everybody thought it was a joke, but, we're going to bite your kneecap off. That wasn't a joke. That is literally the gritty, just nature of the team, man. I think we continue. I believe Big Dan loves to throw a wrench in the game with Skip and even Sewell, who get an angry run staff for his play. Hey, okay. So maybe it is a Dan Campbell thing, and that's the big question. That's what we'll find out this year. Is it a Dan Campbell type deal? The other question could be, will there be a need for the trick plays? Does John Morton come in and just unlock our offense to that next level where we don't have to rely on the trick plays, where we're just going to line up and just beat you with perfection? I'm going to continue to say it. I think that John Morton is going to make Jared Goff a 5,000-yard passing quarterback. I think it's well within the wheelhouse of possibilities, especially when you look at the talent that we have on team. Top three pass catchers in order would go Amon-Ra, who is a 100-catch guy, Sam Laporta, who can easily be an 80 to 100-catch guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, who, although will have less than 80 catches, will still go well over 1,000 yards. He's a 20-yard per catch guy. I've called for JMO to hit 1,600-yard ceiling this year. And then the X factors, your fireball Tim Patrick's for 300 to 500 yards. Does Isaac Tesla, does he take over as a dominant 500-plus yard in his rookie year type wide receiver? Does Jared Goff go bananas because John Morton likes to throw the ball downfield? We have a good offensive line. Jared Goff's a better play action passing quarterback. Sorry, holy cow. Than people give him credit for, and we have the downfield weapons to go play action and just launch it deep with JMO. You know what I'm saying? We have all of the weapons there for Jared Goff to go plus 5,000, plus 50. So if we are a incredibly elite, high-powered, efficient offense, does the necessity for the trick plays, does it rise there? Does it arise? Or is the trick plays part of the Dan Campbell repertoire to simply keep teams honest? Because once you get settled in kind of your ways of how you conduct business, and defensive schemes kind of settle in their ways on how they're going to stop you, and the big wrench will then be the goofy trick plays that are drawn up. There's nothing you can stop because you're not anticipating it. You're doing 10,000 other things. You know what I'm saying? It has yet to be seen, and I can't really make an estimate or educated guess on that until I see it. We were doing the plays for fun until we needed to get one off in a big game. It is agreeable not to. Which wide receiver tight end do you double in a hungry, talented room? How do you play a man or a zone on this group? Tricks are for kids. We were running the plays for fun, like you say, until we needed to, and then JMO shit the bed. And yeah, that's kind of the thing is, Jason, you're right. Pick a guy that you're going to shut down for the day. I just gave you a handful of dudes. We have more playmakers than you have defenders, is the long and short of it, you know. And yes, dicks are for chicks. You guys are goofy today. So we'll see. You know, we'll speculate, and then once the season hits, we'll get ready and rolling. So, guys, we ended up with 8 votes down in the poll. Are you happy with the defensive end room or trade? Happy. Let him ride with 62% of the votes. So you guys are pretty happy with where we're sitting. We're going to go ahead and end the poll here. Morton is a kid in a candy store with this offense. I completely agree with you. And this is really kind of what Ben Johnson was able to do, and this is what we do on both sides of the ball, is we just have Jimmies and Joes who go out there and can execute. They can play. We got ball players on both sides of the ball. We got what I call a toolbox offense and a toolbox defense. And when you reach inside that toolbox, every tool in there has multiple applications to it. You're not just pinpointed on one thing. J-Mo isn't just a deep threat. Amon-Ra isn't just a possession wide receiver. David Montgomery isn't just a power back. Jahmyr Gibbs isn't just a flashback. You see what I'm saying? Jared Goff isn't just a game manager. Okay? We have all these guys. Shepard is on the D side too. Yeah, dude. Shepard, I am so hyped about Calvin Shepard. Simply because that was the guy I wanted to be our defensive coordinator. We all knew Aaron Glenn was on his way out the door. We all knew he was going to get an opportunity. I kind of thought it was going to be with New Orleans, but he ended up going to the Jets. And all season I was anticipating, and then Calvin Shepard was the guy. Obviously, we've talked about this before. John Morton is a good offensive coordinator, and he has been around the organization before. Personally, I would have liked to have seen Hank Fraley, Mark Brunell get the job. Hank Fraley, though, getting promoted not only offensive line coach, but now run game coordinator. A nice tip of the hat. I did see a rumor somewhere. I didn't delve too much into it because everything's kind of clickbait now, but apparently Penei Sewell was a huge advocate for keeping Hank Fraley in-house. So that speaks volumes to him and what he's been able to do. There is depth 3 and 4 deep as well. Yes, dude. Yes, Jason. That's the thing about our defense is we are deep. We are deep. We are deep this year. That's why I talk about Enos Rakestraw, our third corner, and how luxury it is to have a third, fourth corner be such a high pedigree player. We talked about Malcolm Rodriguez, a high pedigree player as a reservist role. Once Aleem McNeil comes back, we're going to have 3, 4 defensive end or defensive tackles who are starting caliber defensive tackles in the NFL, right? Why did Morton leave in 22? Was the Denver job a promotion? Not sure. Probably, though. I would assume that or Sean Payton, maybe there's more of a personal connection there. I'm not exactly sure, though, Brent DeWitt. That's a question that I do not have the answer for. Expected Hank, but like the Morton choice. So sorry, Jason, you were a big fan of the Hank Fraley being moved into the offensive coordinator. And then, when they brought in John Morton, initially, first, right off the rip, when they said John Morton, I thought it was our old wide receiver, Johnny Morton. I was like, oh, my God, Johnny Morton is our offensive coordinator. And then when I seen what really did it for me was John Morton being one of the most aggressive down-the-field passing coordinators. I think that's something that we kind of lacked, although the NFL, led by the Detroit Lions, led by the Baltimore Ravens, are transitioning into a more run-first offense right now, and the league is a league of parity. We're a more gritty league, a more ground-and-pound league. I think that if we want to continue to be trendsetters, the Lions can be a run-first team, but also we need to start maximizing the in-the-box coverage, the safeties playing up a little bit closer, and utilizing the weapons that we have of Jameson Williams. And all reports are indicating that Jameson Williams is going to have a outstanding season. He's been in the clubhouse working out. He's been asking good questions. Everything is indicating that J-Mo is going to be a weapon this year, and especially with John Morton's downfield throwing tendencies. It could be very, very beneficial for both parties. It's so deep that the practice squad is capable of starting on any other team, especially Cleveland. Yes, Jason, I agree. Mr. Detroit City, small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City, is a tool. That's putting it lightly. I would say he's a cuck. He's a loser. He's any words that we can't really say, otherwise YouTube will push this down in the algorithm. I think Morton is the only reason Jamo can stride out for the deep ball and not be underthrown. Morton got Goff comfortable taking 3 steps, not 5, before launching, so he doesn't underthrow Jamo. Hey, I think you're right, dude. I think you're right. This is what I'm saying. John Morton, Jameson Williams will be the biggest benefactor from John Morton's down the field play call. So glad Hank stayed, Brent DeWitt. Yes, our O-line is bread and butter. Our O-line is the best offensive line in the entire NFL, and Hank Fraley is the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Not only does he fit what we're trying to do here with Detroit, but it's awesome to think that eventually he will probably also get a head coaching crack, and it continues to play in line with how Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have revolutionized coaching in the NFL by putting more of an emphasis on former players being coaches, because the former players understand what the guys are going through. They can communicate better with them, and they get more out of them. They just get more out of them. Come on, guys. Small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City, is a legend of the TV and rodeo champion. Oh, wait, that's not Ben Johnson. Not that Ben Johnson. Oh, gotcha. So there's a Ben Johnson rodeo. Gotcha. Well, see, that's why, Jason, we'll refer to the rodeo champion as Ben Johnson. And the head coach of the Chicago Bears is Small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City, where he will not win a NFL game as a head coach for the Chicago Bears. That's right. All right, boys, so we're going to have to go ahead and bag this one up. We've been at it for a little over an hour. I appreciate you guys sticking around, hanging out. I know we had a little bit of a late start to it. I had to poop, which kind of slowed things down. Keep an eye on the community tab, okay? I won't know until this afternoon when I'm able to get in and talk to some members of the management negotiating team. I might have to work days tomorrow for negotiations, so if that's the case, I'll try to go live for like a little half hour, just kind of a catch-up show tomorrow afternoon. But keep an eye on the community tab. I'll let you guys know what's going on there. If I find out we're not doing negotiations this week, then expect the show to, as normal, 10 to 11 a.m. Tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're only going to do 2 shows this week in observation of Memorial Day being yesterday. You guys know me. We're pretty patriotic around here. So, it is what it is. The OG Ben Johnson is from Pawhuska, Oklahoma. He was a rodeo champion and was a lot of your favorite Westerns. Look him up. No shit. Glad he showed up on my recommendation viewings. Dude, Jason, no, man. I'm glad you showed up, dude. Fuck me popping up, dude. I'm glad you clicked on it, dude. You're active as a motherfucker in this chat, dude. I appreciate it, dude. So, hey, man, we go Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'll be announcing when we're going to be going 5 days a week, closer to July. But yeah, man, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so that you can be notified every day when we go live. We just kind of come in, hang out, chew the fat, talk some Lions. Hell yeah, have a great day, everyone. One Pride worldwide. Brent, you have yourself a good rest of the day, dude. Stay out of trouble. All right, guys. All right. 9 to 10 Central. All right. Well, there you go, Jason. 10 to 9 Central. Not good with the times. I should probably start mentioning that because we do kind of have you guys from all over the U.S. here. Yeah, not just Eastern Standard Time. So appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. That's what we love about you guys here. So until next time, I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Banga banga. Frig off.